So here's the thing. A study from 2018 really didn't pull any punches when it came to challenging the whole brain disease model of addiction. And honestly, they make some solid points. The gist of their argument is that slapping the label of brain disease on addiction might seem like a tidy, sciencey explanation, but it actually oversimplifies a much messier, more human issue. It's like trying to explain a thunderstorm by just saying clouds got angry. There's so much more going on beneath the surface. Let's break it down, yeah? Key problems with the brain disease model. 1. Reductionism. Right, so this model basically boils addiction down to a biological malfunction, a glitch in the brain, if you will. But here's the thing, addiction isn't just about biology. It's tangled up in social contexts, trauma, mental health struggles, and a myriad of human experiences. By reducing it to brain chemistry, we risk losing sight of the bigger picture. It's like focusing on a single thread and missing the whole tapestry. 2. Agency and responsibility. Now this one's tricky. Calling addiction a disease can make it sound like people have no control over their actions, like they're passengers in their own lives. And while that's meant to reduce blame, which is great in theory, it can also backfire. If someone feels like they're powerless to change, where's the motivation to take charge of their recovery? It's a bit like saying, oh, the steering wheel's broken, so I'll just sit here and hope for the best. 3. Stigma and identity. Here's the irony. The brain disease model was supposed to reduce stigma by saying, hey, it's not your fault your brain is sick, but in reality, it can sometimes do the opposite. By framing addiction as a permanent flaw in someone's brain, it risks making people feel like they're broken beyond repair. And let's be real, no one wants to be seen as a walking, talking malfunction. 4. Treatment implications. If we call addiction a brain disease, it naturally follows that the solutions must be medical, pills, neurological interventions, that sort of thing. But what about the psychosocial side of things? Therapy, support groups, community interventions, all of that risks getting sidelined. And honestly, aren't those just as important, if not more so, than a prescription pad? But wait, what does this have to do with obesity? Glad you asked. If we take this brain disease framework and slap it onto obesity, we end up with some eerily similar issues. Here's how it might play out. Implications of treating obesity as a brain disease. 1. Medicalization of obesity. If obesity is just a brain disease, the go-to solutions become medication and neurological interventions. And let's be honest, Big Pharma would love that. But does that really address the root of the issue? Or is it just a fancy band-aid too? Ignoring psychological and environmental factors. This is a big one. Reducing obesity to a neurological problem means we might overlook things like emotional eating, stress, trauma, cultural influences, or even something as basic as food accessibility. It's not just about rogue neural pathways, it's about the whole ecosystem of someone's life. 3. Loss of personal agency and responsibility. Just like with addiction, calling obesity a brain disease might make people feel like they have no control, like they're passive victims of their biology. And while biology plays a role, so do lifestyle choices, habits, and personal agency. It's about finding a balance, not swinging the pendulum too far in one direction. 4. Potentially increased stigma. And here's that irony again. Labeling obesity as a brain disorder might actually increase stigma because it frames people as inherently flawed or pathological. It's like saying, oh, you're not just overweight, your brain is broken too. Not exactly helpful, is it? The bigger picture. So what's the takeaway here? Well, we've got to be careful about slapping the brain disease label on everything. Sure, it sounds neat and tidy, but life isn't neat and tidy, is it? Addiction and obesity are so much more than just biology. They're deeply intertwined with psychology, society, and environment. By oversimplifying them, we risk missing the messy, beautiful, complicated human realities underneath. So in short, let's not reduce people's struggles to a single narrative. Instead, let's embrace the complexity and work towards solutions that address the whole person. Because at the end of the day, aren't we all a bit more than the sum of our neural pathways?